Of January 10th, 2023. Unless there's some changes or corrections, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the same.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Rob, the bills. Thank you, Rob. Unless there are some questions or concerns about the bill list, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the same.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
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 Aye. Okay, folks, just give us a second. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Alrighty, next we have some personnel issues for our consideration. Under new hires, we have two corrections officers at the county jail, one effective January 9th, 2023, the other one effective January 30th, 2023, as well as a temporary administrative assistant in the Office of Planning and Solid Waste effective January 23rd, 2023. These are all under new hires. We have one transfer, full-time corrections officer, to a part-time corrections officer at the county jail effective January 20th, 2023. And I have nothing under separations or retirements or requests for leave under the Family Medical Leave Act. There being, unless there's something else I'm not aware of, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the personnel changes as stated.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a
Second.
second? Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Public comment? Anyone here for public comment? Does not look like it. I have nothing under old business. Under new business, we have Leanne Hutton with us this morning, who's going to ask the county to proclaim February 7th to the 14th as National Marriage Week. Leanne, Leanne, are you a counselor? Or do you represent an organization?
Both.
Okay.
I am
Fair enough.
I am an LPC, but I also am the program manager for the Together Relationship Education Project at Children's Aid Society.
Okay,
so, both.
very good. Well, the floor is yours. Please speak. Make sure the microphone's on there, and please tell us what information you have for us this morning.
Okay. Is it on? No? Yes? Okay. I'm a soft speaker, so I'm never sure if it's actually on. So I'm going to pass these out.
Thank you.
So our relationship education program, we say adult couples who do not need to be married, they can be engaged, they can be involved, they can be married, they can be separated, or some other relationship, things like that. So these programs teach them the skills, the foundational skills for a healthy relationship, with the hopes that we can create a healthier home for children as well. So once they complete the Healthy Relationship Education Program, they're also eligible for our PPP Positive Parenting Program, which focuses on positive parenting and decreasing risk of child abuse and other things like that. And then they are also eligible for our Dave Ramsey workshop, which is Foundations in Personal Finance. So it helps them create a budget and run a more financially stable household.
Thank you. And you're here today to ask us to proclaim February 7th to 14th, and I guess the 14th is Valentine's Day, as National Marriage Week. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Well, certainly any request that asking the county to support, an institution I should say, is involved with two folks support each other and commit to each other. Certainly is a good thing, and certainly the county would be interested in. Guys, did you have any questions for Leanne? Well, before I read the decree into the record, and it's surprising what I do when I have too much time on my hands. Last night I looked up some quotes from some famous folks in history and the entertainment industry about marriage. And if the folks would tolerate me for a couple of minutes, I'd like to review them with everybody. From history, first quote I have is, "By all means marry. If you get a good spouse, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher." And that was from Socrates. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage and half shut afterwards. Ben Franklin. And Abraham Lincoln once observed that marriage is neither heaven or hell, it's simply purgatory. And the last one, show me a man that opens a car door for his wife, and I'll show you a man who has a new car or a new wife. And that was Prince Philip, who was, of course, married to Queen Elizabeth. From the entertainment world, and these were actually my favorites, "My husband and I never considered divorce. Murder sometimes, but not divorce." Dr. Joyce Brothers. Marriage is a great institution. However, as many times as I've been married, I probably should be institutionalized. That was Elizabeth Taylor. And my favorite, and the last one, and thank you for putting up with me, is, "Marriages are made in heaven, but then so are thunder and lightning." Clint Eastwood. That's as I said, that's my favorite. Do you have a decree?
That might be why Queen Elizabeth lived longer too, though, just saying.
Okay. This is a proclamation of the Commissioners of Clearfield County declaring the week of February 7th to the 14th, 2023 as National Marriage Week. Whereas marriage binds couples together and is the outward visible sign of a couple's desire to create a lasting life and provide the support necessary for the growth of healthy children and a healthy family. Whereas mounting scientific evidence confirms that the best environment for children to flourish is being raised by parents in healthy marriages rather than unhealthy marriages, or by single or cohabitating parents, and these children demonstrate less behavioral problems in school, are less likely to be a victim of abuse, less likely to abuse drugs or alcohol, to commit delinquent behavior, and have a better relationship with their mothers and fathers, and have a decreased chance of divorcing when they get married, and are less likely to be raised in poverty. Whereas healthy marriages protect adults as well as children, mothers as well as fathers, and research indicates that women in healthy relationships experience more physical and emotional health, more wealth, and are less likely to be victims of domestic violence, assault, or other violent crimes, and less likely to attempt or commit suicide, or remain or end up in poverty, and more likely to have better relationships with their children. Research also indicates that men in healthy marriages are more likely to live longer, be physically and emotionally healthier, wealthier, have increased stability of employment, higher wages, decreased risk of drug and alcohol abuse, and have better relationships with their children and more satisfying relationships with their spouse. Whereas we acknowledge the importance of lasting, healthy marriage to the well-being of children and therefore to the future of our community, we recognize that our community benefits from having a high percentage of couples in healthy relationships. We note the following: higher rates of physically healthy citizens, emotionally healthy citizens, educated citizens, lower domestic violence rates, lower crime statistics, lower teenage pregnancy rates, lower rates of juvenile delinquency, higher rates of home ownership, property values, and overall decreased need of social services. Recent advances in research have helped us to identify the behaviors and skills necessary for a healthy relationship. And furthermore, we now have proven methods for teaching these skills and behaviors. Now, therefore, be resolved by the Commissioners of Clearfield County, in consideration of all these important values, we do hereby proclaim February 7th through February 14th, 2023, as National Marriage Week in the County of Clearfield. Guys, then I'll entertain a motion that we so approve the proclamation as presented to us by the young lady from the Children's Aid Society.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, Leanne, before you get out of here, you want to get your picture
Sure.
taken, so why don't you come on back There you go. Thank you. You certainly.
You know, Leanne, one of the things I love about that program is that it provides childcare. So when we have these families that we're trying to get to have better communication, there's a space for their kids to be at and safe, and there's no cost in that, and that is incredibly valuable. Mhm. Sure. Yeah, it's an incredible program.
Thank you, Leanne.
Have a good day.
Absolutely. The next item under new business, we have before us consider approval of a Veterans Trust Fund grant application. As I understand it, Misty Bruner, our VA office director, has applied for a $15,000 grant from the Veterans Trust Fund to establish a peer support program for our county veterans. In reading through it, I do want to say I was quite impressed because I know it requires a specific skill set to be able to successfully and properly apply for grant funding and do grant writing, and I was quite impressed with what I saw that we were copied with. I know, Mary, I know you helped her with the application. Did you want to speak to the issue?
Sure, I can speak a little bit to what Misty had applied for, just an abridged version. She applied for a $15,000 grant that her office will be able to go out into the community. So like VFWs, Legions, places like that, to where veterans that may have barriers with transportation to get to the VA office will be able to have a meeting and get to know what services are available. She also applied for a laptop and a portable printer so that as they walk veterans through the process for applying for the DD-214s or the various forms that they need as they go through receiving those vital services, she can print them out right there and they have it in hand. And that is an incredible service that they're able to provide. So I really hope that they get funded for this. It's just such a cool program.
Dave, did you want to?
I'm very much for it, and I appreciate the work Mary did to help.
Yeah, I certainly do too.
Misty did all the heavy lifting, though. I just proofread.
Yeah, but that's important too. But yeah, certainly anything we can do. If we can expand services for our veterans who are certainly in need, and I know it's all sorts of things. I know it's everything from helping them with mental health issues, physical health issues, just making them more aware of opportunities out there for them, also for training and all sorts of other programs for them. So,
It's a lot of connecting to services is what she's looking to do.
alrighty. Well, I will entertain a motion then, based on that explanation, that we approve the application to the Veterans Trust Fund for the grant to establish a peer support program.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item 3, consider memorandum of understanding for partners of the American Job Center Network. Lisa, that is one I was unfamiliar with the information that Heather left for us. Do you know what that one is about? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, excuse me. Yes. All right. I know what that is. I'm embarrassing myself. Thank you. Yes, indeed. This is a memorandum of understanding that establishes the parameters and the terms and conditions of the North Central Workforce Development Area and North Central Workforce Development as an organization to undertake its efforts to try to establish and improve workforce in the counties in this area, which are McKean, Potter, Elk, Cameron, Jefferson, and Clearfield. And I, as a representative from Clearfield County, as a member of the Chief Executive Board, need to execute the same. Lisa, thank you. I did not know, obviously, didn't know what we was talking about. I had submitted that to Heather, and Heather had gotten back to me and indicated that it looked just like all the other agreements we've signed in previous years, and therefore it was acceptable to her as far as content and terms and conditions. So, unless there are some questions, which I would be happy to answer, I'll entertain a motion that I be permitted to sign that same memorandum of understanding.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All righty. Now, item 4, we're to consider an agreement with Clearfield County Economic Development Corporation. That is the same agreement that we regularly sign with them. Recently, it has been every year. Where Clearly Ahead serves as the economic development arm, as an economic development arm for Clearfield County. In the information provided to us by Heather, she notes that the language in it is essentially the same as in all other agreements we have signed. The amount of monies contributed by Clearfield County stay the same at $110,000. That does not change. The only change she noted was there was a slight change in some language as to Clearfield County's involvement with Clearly Ahead as far as the Right to Know Act. What it does is essentially indicates that Clearfield County stays neutral on that. All decisions as far as the Right to Know Act are ultimately decided by the Right to Know office down in Harrisburg on behalf of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which was agreed to by Clearly Ahead. So I will entertain a motion, unless there are questions, that we execute the agreement with Clearfield County Economic Development, a.k.a. Clearly Ahead.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
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 Thank you. We have we also have a request before us, and that's the next item on the agenda, from the Clearfield Revitalization Corporation. And that, if I recall correctly, is to return to the courthouse square, return to the courthouse square as being the location of a large Christmas tree at Christmas time. This time they've added a request that there be a place for a permanent tree base. And I would note that I believe Clearfield County has no objection to the same. In fact, I think we like the idea of doing whatever we can to bring back a nostalgic, old-fashioned Christmas to the area of the courthouse. I would note that the only thing I believe we are asking of the CRC is that they be responsible for any repairs to the plaza that would occur, if it would occur, for the installation of the permanent tree box and, of course, the tree. We would also ask that the CRC or Clearfield Borough be responsible for any maintenance issues associated with putting the tree up at the Christmas holidays.
And insurance.
Right, and also provide insurance, or at least hold us harmless via the appropriate insurance policy. Thank you, Dave. I would note we are prepared to do a response to the CRC. In our response, we do remember from years past that there be a manifestation of the plaza during the holidays. Guys, any thoughts or ideas before we take the vote?
Sue saw me somewhere and asked me about this, and I thought, well, yeah, I didn't understand why it had left in the first place. So if we can accommodate them, I think it's a cool idea. I know when I was a kid, I always loved seeing that big tree. So
Me too. And
we'll give it a shot.
Yep, me too. And I was a kid many years before you were. So I think
There you go.
Says how long the memory is that we have of when the Christmas tree was down by the pool. So thank you. All right, then I guess I'll entertain a motion that we approve the CRC or the borough returning the Christmas tree to the courthouse square and also establishing a permanent tree box to be able to hold the same during the Christmas holidays. Just asking that they do maintenance repairs and ensure the same against damage or destruction.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I'd like to announce that we have 2 vacancies on the Solid Waste Authority. Again, if anyone is interested in serving on that, please, that organization, please send us an email or drop off a letter. We would certainly appreciate it, and those folks certainly do yeoman's work, and it's very important for Clearfield County. We have a purchase of service agreement before us with Justice Works Youth Care. In speaking to Children and Youth Services, I believe the necessity for the same is one of their partners, the Children's Aid Society, has changed some of the programs they offer to assist Children and Youth Services and other similar organizations. This organization, which I understand is working in Indiana County and Jefferson County and working successfully, does provide services, particularly in-home services that can make up the gap, and CYS feels that they would serve as an important partner to them. Heather did. That is one of the entities that Heather did review the agreement with, and she did indicate to us that she feels it's acceptable as to content and as to form. So I would ask for a motion that we execute that agreement with Justice Works Youth Care.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having probably moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We also have a linkage agreement for our consideration with Roads to Recovery. Roads to Recovery is an organization that provides follow-up peer-related care for individuals that have gone through some type of mental health treatment and are in recovery. Again, in speaking to CYS this morning, they indicated that this was an organization they have partnered with, and that they feel would be a vital part of the continuum of care and follow-up care. And that I believe in request for grant funding for the same too, they have to have the linkage agreement signed. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve the linkage agreement with Roads to Recovery.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have a request to appoint Cindy Bratton to the Clearfield County Library Board. Yes, ma'am.
I reversed that. It should be Sue Edwards.
Oh, Sue
Cindy
Edwards.
Britton resigned, and Sue Edwards is actually interested.
Okay. All righty, then I stand corrected. Request that we appoint Sue Edwards to the Clearfield County Library Board. Is there a motion that we appoint Sue Edwards to the Clearfield County Library Board?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we do not have a solicitor's report, as Heather was not able to be here today. Is there anything for the good of the order, guys?
Today.
Okay, well, then I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion and properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
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 Aye, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for the meeting today. Yeah, and it could be both. Is it what?